ya music lero byayanga. Today is Monday, Monday 21st July 2025, and this is the original Semuto Road. Okay, it has been altered a little bit, but it's the original Semuto Road, and this is one of the places that doesn't have a lot of potholes. It must have a lot of potholes. Today I want us to talk about the reality, whether your car is drowning you or it's helping you, whether your car is smart or your car is a money pit. I think I should have used the word money pit. And sometimes money pit doesn't actually mean just money. It means a lot more than just money. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. We just enjoy the scenery, the music, just enjoy the sound effects that come from tapping plastics of the car. And then you see why I can't drive lorries. Lorries have to go really, really, really slow. Yeah. It's uncomfortable to go fast. Na yeno yona imipira mibinyo. Ayeka atene imipira okwatika. Negia teka munzira baza amani za kuwana nazo. But good morning, my people. I hope you're jolly. I hope you have woken up to wait there. Like I say today, I overslept. Yes, I overslept. In a couple of weeks, in a couple of days actually. In a marathon. But I've almost forgotten, but it's almost coming back. The reality will hit. In the wish. China Android radio, so there is no way I can play that music for you guys. Yeah, but ndimo AC full time in Moroka. The last time I put 100k, that was on Saturday, and I drove home. I am worried. Kataraka kalimi kali mukwayo, so ngera teka mwori ku mafuta. Good morning, Muhanguzi. Muchunguzi Gerald. Good morning. Cut now. We are going to the spot that has been worked on a little bit. Sport and kora muko. So it's a little sport. That's why you're seeing that almost everyone is testing their machines. And this is like the smoothest of all we've done day until the town. Then in the town we start getting the potholes. I think the driving experience of the Wish is okay. I just personally, I just don't like the length of the car. I think it's too long. I think we have a lot of unused space that for me is a little bit of wastage. So Toyota Wish, I find that it's people that do business that should be buying it. Every now and then, instead of hiring a truck, instead of hiring a bigger car, they have their car that does the job. Yeah. But if you're going to be driving family like Arthur and you're like two to four people, I find that the Wish is a little bit too big. Yeah, like now I'm traveling alone and I feel like I have a lot of baggage behind. Yet I don't actually have baggage, so it's too big. I think the same thing would apply to the Noah. If I were to buy a Noah, I think it would be the Noah would be a huge car. Now, for the people that are planning to buy a Noah, the Noah will give you 13 kilometers per liter on a highway. 13. If it goes really high, it will give you 15. Now, I understand that for a Noah, for people that have driven other Noahs, that is impressive because the earlier models would give you 7-8 kilometers per liter. So now this one giving you 13 kilometers per liter is impressive. Yeah, now for me, 13 is not good. I want a vehicle that can give me about 20 kilometers per liter. So I am hunting for a vehicle that will give me 20 kilometers per liter or more. Ideally, I want 43 kilometers or 45 kilometers per liter. Zenga Arthur. Now I know that's like being too much, yeah. it's being too much. I may never get 43. I got it with the other Caprias, but I don't like that Caprias. It's too small. The Kabamba. Kati, you see why I want the Gymkhana, especially in the cons. This is part of my daily driving. Like I have to dodge potholes. Yokubera nakalime nga kaka. Yuwale kumoroka. Nebo siba. Obola bange yagala okusika. Abaiti Kimitsubishi Galant mukirabye. Achiwangaza kiri ku W. Achiwangaza. Those cars are comfortable banange. Mitsubishi makes very comfortable cars. It's the one thing I know about them. But keeping them on the road is another hell. Yeah. But good morning. So guys, for the people that have cars, do you know how much you've spent on your car in the past 1 year? Do you? Okay. Do you know how much you've spent on your car since you bought it? Are the costs justifiable? Yeah, the money you've spent on that car. Can you justify why you have spent that money on that car? And has that car been able to give you returns that justify the expenses? Because that's one of the things that you have to consider. For example, before you get to a time when you say why you're selling the car, you're going to want to consider how much have I invested in the car, and how much can I sell it now, and how much has it been able to make me in the end. That's why for me right now I'm talking about this car giving you value for money, either giving you headaches or giving you a good time. Yeah, whether it's draining you or making you happy is the car, because it's possible. and you know, when we talk about the car draining you, we are not simply I realize it's the common alanjaita control arm. That one. Push yes, I get passenger yes. Habitual gate and this is no zombie. Because sometimes we go on, you know, which you say you want to be on flying up what to change for, but it's the main push. So personally, I am one person that calculates my expenses from the day I buy the car to the day I sell the car. And because I realize most of you guys don't have a system where you can do that, I developed the physical copy of my car diary, and we are going to work on a system online. But I know online is also harder for some people. You forget. But if a book is there looking at you, every time you go to the garage, you'll record. Every time you take fuel, you will record. Yeah, and that will be a very good thing for you as a car owner. So my car diary will be coming out soon. Even before the event. Yeah. So that you start recording your expenses. It's important. Now, I find that one of the things that Europeans are better than us at is that they record all their expenses. They do. They record all their expenses, and that gives them a basis to know what jobs to do and what jobs not to do. And personally, when I started recording my expenses, I realized that I was more empowered to make good decisions as to which jobs I did, which jobs I did not do, which people I worked with, which people I did not work with. You get, once you understand the kind of expenses that your car takes, you understand what kind of income you need, or you understand whether to upgrade or downgrade. Which take here, we're going to be going through some of the expenses that come with cars and hidden expenses, because those are the ones that drain you without you knowing sometimes, or what with you knowing sometimes. Akademi kagudde baganda bange kati nze wendi siteredde akalimi bwe kagwayo emirembe ginzigwako tugende wali tuteekemu ekizike. Nkomawo na mmotoka yange nze bino kijja biso oba nze envuga obubi. Oba moroka ina plug in for, I don't know. But obviously this has happened to me with literally all the cars that I bought home. But this is not expected. Means oba simanyi kubala gauge, namanyira gauge yange kubeera waggulu nga kimalako emirembe. There is a guy, he gave me his car and I put fuel. Nenze ne mugaye moroka yadde egenda kunsikako, so I put extra fuel. Guy nangamba mafuta genda muwera mu yagavuga ennaku 3 nga tatotongeddeemu. So it might be it might be true that I don't know how to calculate these gauges. Nze nga namanyira moroka yange eri gye nteekamu nebeera nga bw'etuuka mu quarter tank nziramu nenzijuza, bw'etuuka mu quarter tank nziramu nenzijuza. It might be the thing that is disturbing me. So, you know, I was watching a video yesterday and it was saying that the nervous system, where the nervous system moves the thoughts from the brain. So when the thoughts move from your brain down, when the thoughts move from your brain, omusajja mulabi avuga T1. Ate eri waliyo ababoda ndaba naye tayingira road. So anyway, the nervous system controls almost everything that goes on in our lives. Like when you think negative thoughts, your body will even lose energy to do stuff. Yeah, when you think like, oh, things will not work out, even the way you're looking, even the way you're doing whatever you do it negatively and stuff. So I'm thinking my nervous system right now has picked up that wherever you're jacket ya buru. So my nervous system could have picked up that akalimi kano kasitaka tuuka wano moroka ebe egenda kusika. Atete moroka teri mu kadomola. You guys will be surprised. The owner of the car, we found him driving this car nga akalimi kali awo. Netutambula. It's not until that he realized he was going to give me the car that he said umanyi atateka mwa mafuta agago. Let me go put a chizike there. Njivuge njitwale bajozi. Njivuge ngende nakawa. Oba ngende wa nakawa. Nfune moroke yange. Munsabire muntere musara. Obukenke buno sijja kukobola. Muchunguzi General That's David Klaji walabi HVIP, Muyombia Mark, Godfrey Tambala, Travel Live Vlog, Lawrence Omule, Julia Sengoba, Hussein Munyantwali, Chika Wariki, Sechitoleko Norman, Bennett Musafiri, Richard Aki, Karim, George Senkubuge MD, Paul Sema VIP, Nabasa Stewart, but the Land Cruiser Actress can give you around 20 kilometers per liter. No, my brother, no. There is no Actress that can give you 20 kilometers per liter. Tell you. Possible funa karukum bisatu. But the disadvantages that come with the 1.3 are far outweigh. And I also don't think it can give you 20 kilometers. On the highway, I used to get about 18 to 19 kilometers per liter out of the Ractis. But I don't drive the highway every day. There are times what is wrong with the people? So on the highway, I used to get 18 to 19 kilometers per liter. Yeah. And but I don't drive the highway all the time. Like half of my time I'm in traffic jam. Lucky Mose, good morning. Ajuka Blair, John Jones, 140. I'll buy my Kadari on the convention. I mean, Albega Shafiq, Morad K Momo VIP, Starch Events, and Julius. Did you sell that? Yes, a long time ago. Nani mbagamba wanembaga emoroka mugenda jiro bira mbagenda kujitwala mwenga muri yawo. Msajja ye wangulidde emoroka. Ate mpya. Baje twala dasigo ne transfer zawedde. Transfers are with day. But Mama Ban kept saying, oh, I miss that car. I miss that car. In Owisha, you know, sensor, like proximity sensors. Like when you get too close to a car, when something gets too close to the left sensor, it will pop, 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 pop. It gets to the right sensor. The rear also has the same sensors. It will be beeping. So I Lucky Mose. Oh, why? Sagala kwogera brandi z'abantu. Nkubuulira Lucky Mose. Wamu waliwo ebizibu byawo. Saeed, good morning. How are you? Regan say Semigade, how are you? So ndi mukuduka kuyingira mafuta zigwe mulaba wano. Ndi mukuduka kuyingira mafuta. Laki moze yale moro kangeri top condition nze nkubulira. Yagane moro kangeri top condition. But you see on the tarmac, this car moves very, very well. Of an on Maram, it moves very well. Just a mark, I can't track a corner once. Actually, I almost fixed it for him yesterday. I almost because yesterday I was with Chris and we were working on a problem that his car had. We were in a garage, and then that dude can't work a corner, but so I'll just like, how was the fuel consumption in town? Practice in town. I used to get 12. In town, I used to get 12, between 10 to 12, depending on how much jam I get exposed to. And but that is me using AC full time. So I'm thinking anybody else will tell me, okay, tenure, but I want better. I can get better. I know I can get better, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for better, and whatever I end up with, I hope it gives me better. I haven't really made up my mind in terms of what car I'm getting, but I hope today I make up my mind. Hey, Staj, you see this car? Nyini yo musubuzi. Baba bagala akasente kawe kawerere ddala. Okitegeera bagala akasente kakakwateko. So I don't want to guarantee that you can get such a deal. Kati, you guys, I want to show you the reason why I started taking a full tank of fuel. Olaba ku mafuta wano. Njagala wetegereze. Eno pampo erike moroka 2. Eri pampo erike moroka 2. Pampu neri na yerike moroka 2. Kati, I'm forced to come to the pump ya border. Kati, imagine you go through that every day. Nga buli lunaku olina okujja olinda aba border banywa amafuta, oba olinda abe moroka endala banywa amafuta. Nga ate oli bwavaawo ng'omulala addawo. Okitegeera. So I did that for when I did that for 3 days, and I decided I'm going to start taking full tank of fuel to save time, yeah? And I don't regret doing that. I don't regret doing that, because since then I've been saving plenty of time, and of course my peace of mind. Anybody abemanga nabo tebavaayo bansobedde. Segenda kunywa ku gundi ya boda. There is a time I went to take fuel at a certain petrol station, and what happened was the chick, I think their machine had a glitch, and the chick kept taking her time. Actually not kutwagenda kujimukana. I thought we were late, obviously, and the chick was there ngata tukolako nimugamba omanya obachike abeerwa abo ndoza ku petrol station nga buli omu yamukwana ziteke mu zonna nenyongeza nga ndoza buli omu petrol station yamukwana chiki ndoza nga amanyi wamanyi mugagundu lwaki tompa amafuta gange nambogolera waayo papa ki gweno tomanyira mpa sente zange teka mu amafuta baba direct. Sebo chiki yangambo papa chino mpa sente zange kusagala kuza. These days I want value for money, both in product and customer service. Sene za fe tuzibona abo kine cyuma ngacho kiki kino no old model kia Didi ate no mwewunyo amafuta ageta no gasa mwene moroka geji like yendwadde, but I won't take any chances. Good morning, sebo twagala Prius. Chairman Zaka Prius ezo zikyalimu ebizibu. Kanda abe. As an anti cause I'm still stuck with the figure I'm seeing on my account. It's making me happy. Saga that. But if your practice was giving you those kilometers on the highway, then it saves than using taxi later. Obviously, me, one thing I emurukanga teach him after. Let me reset it to 0 to lave. So no, the practice definitely was a saver of fuel, but I want better. Some of us will dream. Yeah, I want better. I want 40 kilometers per liter. 140 kilometers per liter. Those you see driving a car is atakatino mwenda mukadde. On Saturday, because I did not have a car now, mama abani abadage na mucharo. Number one namukadde ne batwala. Ate yo namukadde because it's manual, tenywira ko dala. Dala. Mukulu kagwale kayakozese emitwalo nga mukaga nagende mu bende nadda. Kitegeera. So guys, let's talk about the hidden costs that come with the car that may end up draining you. There is something that I saw yesterday. Butwabadde nga tuli mukola ku motoka ya Chris. I saw a mechanic yabadde akola ku coils. You know coils, the coils, they are the electronic components of the plug system, yeah? Those coils. Nga someone had coil, nga bajochako omuliro, nga bajocha. You know omanywe bayochanga ebidomoledda. This is how they had worked on those coils. You get? And geje ganyo okulinnya kanzize emoroka y'omusajja nze bino sijja bisobola. Teka moti ekisike geji netali. Yenyenyezaamu katono bweti. Geji labika yenfu. So, the guy was a RAV4, but it was so it was a RAV4, and they were looking for coils, for other coils. Nibanonya coils nezibabula. So what they had to do was get coils that were not made for that car, yeah, and they take off the tips. So they took off the tips of those coils and replaced them with the tips of the coils from this car, the original tips. Now I've seen this being done in so many cars. I saw it with the car that we bought. Oli agenda makanika namulimba coil zonfu namtirako coil and coils yasako nga tezikola nga nfuwe nga zinywa nnyo amafuta. So what they did is okay, it will keep your car moving. But one, the car will not give you optimum performance, and two, it will be spoiling the plugs, because when the plugs don't work to optimum level, they'll get spoiled. But it will also be taking a lot of your fuel, which take it. So it's important for us to understand that something like that can keep draining you. So when you buy a car, of course, the first thing you're going to try to find out is what number is on the coils that are in your car. There is that number of coils. So every time you're going to buy coils, those are the coils you're going to be buying and putting on your car. Which take it, because coils differ. The coils will die because of the heat, because of age, and sometimes because of the oil that comes into contact with them. You get? So it's important that you understand that coils have been one of the biggest drainer of people's pockets. I've seen people that are driving the 1NZ, ZZ, AZ, as a motor case is that and can coil. People spend a lot of money on coils. Remember, every coil, the original coils are about 80 to 100,000, sometimes 150. Now, people will give you fake coils at 50. Now, the fake coils don't work that long, so you keep on buying, and sometimes they'll bring you old coils that have been repaired. and that's going to take a lot of your money. So it's important for you to understand those drain. I happen to understand that in German cars, the biggest drainer of people's money is buying new fuel pumps. Omuntu asobola okugula fuel pump empya nga nnyanga zonna zigaana okukola oba nga performance egaana olumu nga n'ekizibu kiri ku fuel pump naye nga makanika ayagala mulyamu, because German car drivers already know that fuel pumps are expensive, so they'll spend top dollar, and they know that fuel pumps affect the performance. So in the beginning, when you have just bought your first German car, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start to first of all want to you're going to first want to kutetenkanya basoke bagulira akomunda bakateekemu emmotoka ezikalinga okukola omuzigo egumu, then bagambe tuge ekirambe ekya boxi. Okigula ekirambe ekya boxi kigaane, mukizeeyo babawe ekirala, mukizeeyo babawe ekirala, oyo abaddize sente zammwe oba abaddizeeyo ko part of your money. Okitegeera, and then you go buy somewhere else. Now, when you buy a car that is disturbing you, I want you to understand that we are looking at the financial burden that car has on you. But I don't want you to ignore the fact that you're going to get the emotional burden. You're going to get the emotional burden that comes. This car actually has a manual mode, like the sport mode. You can drive the car manually, but I doubt anyone ever drives these things. It's a four-speed car. 4-speed gear. It has a 4-speed gearbox. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody ever drives the sport mode. But there's plenty of cars. Fielders have the sport mode, the Ratises have this, and they have the manual one. So many cars have it. Arthur, do you have any regrets of selling your car? No, I don't. It was time. I think it was time for me to change. It was time for me to change, but I also wanted better mileage. Yeah, I wanted better fuel economy, which the reason why I did not even buy a car on Saturday, I could have just gotten a car, but the reason why I did not get a car on Saturday is because I'm trying to look for something that will give me better mileage than what my Ractis gave me. I don't want to go back to the Vitz because the Vitz is not worth the money. Now it's very expensive right now. The car Vitz are just past us there. That car Vitz will cost you about 32 million in the bond. If it goes really low, it will cost you about 28, 29. I find that it's not worth the money. And all those cars, for me, I find that they're not worth the what? They're not worth the money. So personally, I don't want to go to a car that is lower than a Ractis, but I don't want to go to a car that consumes the same as a Ractis. You get? So I don't have any regrets. I think I'm happy. One, for me, the Ractis made its money back, all the money back. So I don't think I've made a different decision. No, I don't. So I'm happy. One thing, I had just put new tires like a week before, but I think it was time for me to sell it. I don't regret. I think it was time for me to make a change. It's time for me to make a change. And it's also important that I experiment cars for you so that you know. Good morning, Richard Luanga. Can I contact you privately? Your site doesn't work. Which site doesn't work? Which site doesn't work? We had issues with one of the domains, but it's being resolved. But right now, the loveofcarsmagazine.com is working. The loveofcarsmagazine.com is working. Yeah, that one, we have challenges with the domain. I don't know what happened. And there's all the technology stuff that people keep saying. Dude explained it to me. However, it's things are loading, not loading. A lot of those things that are happening, but it's being resolved. Yeah, it's being resolved. Good morning, Ronald Muchwa. So guys, I was talking about the emotional drain that comes, the emotional burden that comes with the emotional burden that comes with the emotional burden that comes with you always being spending money on the car. That's like the biggest burden that comes, the biggest drain on your life. I've seen someone that had a car that stressed them and they got thin and they got pimples. Yeah, their hair turned really brown. You get, and they were moody because the car wasn't working out. You get, but sometimes the emotional burden will not come because you're spending a lot of money on the car. No, sometimes the emotional burden will come. The emotional burden or the strain on your life will come simply because you're fixing things you should not be fixing, or you're trying to make a car new which you should not be trying to make new. Now, Arthur, which car are you going to buy which consumes less than the practice? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know. So today, I don't think I'm doing anything. Of course, I have an inspection, so I'll be doing another person's inspection. But as I do that person's inspection, of course, it hasn't been confirmed yet. But if this person knows what's good for them, they'll come for inspection. They'll give me that money. I'll top it up on the money that I'm going to use to buy my car. But anyway, good morning, Stanislas Avaga. So anyway, the emotional drain or the emotional stress that comes with you having a car that constantly takes your money, or that's the reason why sometimes I tell you, don't buy this car, don't buy that car, don't buy this car, don't buy that car, because are they either buying the Primo Super? It's because the Primo Super never gives people heart. Hey. Munansonyo okuseka simpi sambi. Moroka bajita Peugeot 308. Ate yo modo mpya. Ate muloza techa muse. Good morning, Arthur. Do you mind listening? I think you say listing. Expert is invited on Chimeza on your channel. Most especially, I need the AC expert. Brian Emma, you're going to come to the convention and you're going to get the contacts there yourself. Nkulina, the contacts will not be shared on my channel at any one moment, but you can come to the convention, meet these people, and get their contacts after even seeing what they can do. Yeah. Why am I not listing those contacts there? It's because that will be me promoting someone that has not paid for promotion. Just getting them to come for the event is hard enough. You get. So as for the love of cars, we need to benefit something out of actually getting them to come together and share this knowledge. Which together. After VITS 1 liter and 1.5, which one can you recommend for a beginner? Godfrey, the 1.5 liter is definitely better, but where are you going to get it from? They are very rare. And if you find it's going to be expensive, not worth the money. Because what about Tractisia in 24 million? I am telling you that if you got a VITS 1.5 liter, you'll get it at like 26, 27. Yet it's even when it's in the same number plate. Which take it, right? So I don't think it will be worth the money even if you found it, but I would recommend a 1.5 liter. But personally, I'll drive a 1 liter. Is that the VITs are very expensive. I thought you were paying the mechanics to come and teach at the convention. Whether I'm paying them or not paying them, I'm not sharing their contacts here. You guys are going to find them at the convention. The reason why we are having the convention is so that if we have a question, other people also benefit in the answers that these mechanics are sharing. You get, it's important that when we ask the questions, other people also benefit. You get? Now, after we have had them at the convention, then I can talk to them and see whether we get into an arrangement where I share their contacts. I've not been in the habit of sharing mechanics contacts with my people, except I can do it privately, but I don't do it publicly. You get? A mechanic has a business that he has to promote like any other business. You get? So regardless of, and on that day, they're also going to give some free services. So like the SC guy will do free checkups that day. This SC guy will do free checkups. He will also do free service if you're there. Yeah, and of course the things that you cannot do there, then you'll pay for them later on, and then you'll have appointments with them. Which take it. So anyway, we are talking about whether your car is actually, now you see the Peugeot that just died on the road there. The Peugeot that just died on the road. Now there is a kind of stress that that woman is getting that she would not get if that car just moved. Even if it was not a car that she desired to drive, but if that car was moving effectively and the car was not dying, yeah, that woman would not have the kind of emotional distress that comes with you actually stopping on the road and opening your bonnet and then starting to figure out why is the car overheating. And at that time, you're not working with the specialist of the car, but you're just working with a random person you found on the road to help you get off the road. But even when they put water, you don't know if you're going to get to your destination. Now, I tell you people that have women, buy them cars that are easy to understand by literally everyone, even them. Because that car can be overheating because the fan is off. It can be overheating because of a big leakage. It can be overheating because of a blown fuse. Now, that woman cannot figure out things like that. But because it's a Peugeot, you will find that not every mechanic literally not any mechanic in that area can help her. Fuse box, you'll find that those mechanics there are not Toyota fuse boxes. So there is that stress, the kind of stress that I got when I drove the Volkswagens, yeah? And you see, when I drove the Benz, I spent 900 in one day. But the point was not really spending the 900 in one day. It was the prospect of me knowing that, you know what, it might actually not be better. It might need like 4 times this money for me to put it in the condition that I want it. And then also talking to Kasim, and then he tells me, now me, I have phobia for cars that consume a lot of fuel. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to take it back. Amina. So one of the reasons why people keep driving the normal cars, like now this Alteza. In Alteza, you can drive it for the next 5 years in a foot day. The same thing with the Primo in front of us. The same thing with the Harrier. The same thing with the Chibina. The same thing with the other car in front of the Morokachi. Primo again is a Morocco Ziraba. You can drive it over and over and over again and it will never break down. The same thing with this Wish. That's the reason why people keep driving these cars. But there are things that I've seen people spend money on: plugs, coils. Yesterday, someone asked me, why do my bushings die all the time? He's driving a Subaru. And I told him the problem could be the mechanic. Why am I saying that? Is because if you have a mechanic that is not honest with you, or if you have a mechanic that constantly puts poor quality spares in your car, then you're going to suffer. Like especially the bushes. I know that there are like 5 types of bushes on the market, and there is, so far, the bush that I've seen that every mechanic talks about as being good is RBI. It's called RBI, and RBI lasts longer when you put it in your car. But the other bushes, they die fast. And then from RBI, it can only be a downward spiral from there. They just get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. So, ezo bushes nadala mu Uganda ya feno n'ebinya byayo. I think that's one of the biggest expenses that people have. Nti omuntu asobola okuba nga akyusa bush buli myezi 3. Now that's expensive. like the main bushings, 2 of them are 100,000 minimum. Then you have these others that will cost you 30, 20, 10, and then there are those small ones that will cost you about 5k. Now a bush ya 30 way feeder manya nti nobwa 5 bonna kumpi buba bufu okitegeera. Now that's going to cost you a lot of money. You get now every 3 months if you're going to be spending about 300,000 on bushes, or let's say 200,000 on bushes, because 100,000 goes to the main bushes. Okateka obuno obutono tono bugwere mu mitwalo nga mukaaga, then okabendereba wa mitwalo ng'esatu tobena. Kati if you do emuruka egenda kutama. Kati ate mu bushes bwe babufa, after the bushes have died, the next thing to die would be the shock absorbers. You get it? The next thing to die will be the shock absorbers, and then that will be very stressful for you. Right? And then the coils and the plugs. I've seen that sometimes mechanics bajja kutetenkanya. Sorry, network enzijeko. Mbadde ngamba nti the mechanics sometimes batetenkanya. Emotoka isobola okuba ngetta plug emirundi mingi, and the mechanic also doesn't know why the plugs are dying. Most of the times it's the coils. They start putting some of the old plugs they have in their garage, and that also makes your car consume a lot of fuel. It's not friendly. Akageji kali nyenno kali almost quarter tank akitegeza amafuta gange abaddemu nga mangi because emitwalo etano tekitwala moroka eno mu quarter tank. So and when that starts happening, you're going to be on a repeat purchases. Nti ogula plug kati nizifa, n'ogula endala nizifa. Ate mechanic akasta kuzuula nti you don't pay attention to the plugs he puts in your car, agenda sigala nga akuteramu plug enkadde constantly, and then you'll end up spending a fortune on those things. And because you people don't keep track of how much you're spending on your car, that's how sometimes people don't sell cars. Okitegeera tajja jituna ne bwene musumbuwa, tajja kukyusa makanika ne bwana abamulyamu. Okitegeera, me, one of the reasons why I've ended up changing mechanics was because I was spending a lot on spares, and when I go to another mechanic, I end up not spending that much anymore. For example, I used to have a mechanic nga bush zifa buli miezi esatu. I can tell you that. Kati nze nga mmanyi nvuga bubi. Okitegeera, every 3 months nga nkyusa bush nga mmanyi nvuga bubi. Later on I realized this guy yatekanga mu bushes ziri poor quality. Nga ateka mu bushes ziri poor quality. Nenfuna mechanic omulala. Nga bush ze za bay, I with every bush, like the main bushes nga nzigula ezize nga nzigula emitwalo nga mukaaga, ezo inazigula ngena 5 ena. Naye I realized that bush zono nga nsobola givuga n'omwaka nga I'm driving the same roads. Okitegeera, kati then ebintu ebyo biraba twogera kusene twogera ne ku emotional stress, but I can tell you, if you have to spend money on your car all the time, then you have to spend time on your money. I mean time on your car. Kitegeeza every time you go to the garage, because guy yakubba nnyo, you start wanting to be there oraboba byataddemu bipya. And you know, the issue is not that ebintu byatekamu bikadde. Ebintu byatekamu bipya naye atekamu poor quality. So you will sit there and you'll keep saying, nega ebintu byatanziba byatekamu biraba nga bitekamu biba bipya. Kumbe he's putting poor quality things. And I've seen people that keep moving from mechanic to another because agamba onanseera. Newe agenda gye bwava gye bamuseera, he goes to a place gyasuubira nti bamuseera, abeerayo omulundi nga gumu ebiri n'addayo gye bamuseera because ate gye batamuseera emmotoka efa nnyo. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. That's one of the reasons why people are going now to the advanced garages, the ones that have built really aesthetically appealing locations. They are going to those places because they are imagining that those places will not cheat them. But also then the thing that I've realized with people that go to those new garages, the one that have built aesthetically appealing locations, is that most of them don't actually drive their cars for long distances. So it's very hard for you to understand what. But also, I've told you time and again that every time someone charges you premium, they'll give you good quality things because they don't want you to complain at all. For example, if someone charges you 100,000 shillings for a bush that costs 60,000, they'll definitely put the one for 60 because they've already made enough profit off the bush. You get it? So they don't have to put a cheaper one. Kature the bush because they came to what day you gave them money for consultation like 50,000. Chitegeza koze de mitwalo 5 kubusha akozeeko ena bakuteda mu bush 2 je mitwalo 8 ajja kukozeeko chitegeza kozeeko emitwalo 13 already. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. I was telling, which I did a video where I talked about why the expensive garages end up doing work that lasts longer. Like if you're going to talk about overhauling an engine, if a normal mechanic is going to charge you, let's say overhauling the one NZ engine, and normal mechanics will charge you about 1 million shillings. Now you go to the uptown garages, those ones with aesthetically appealing locations, and they charge you about how much? About 2 million shillings. Now, I want you to understand that these garages don't even have to do the work themselves. Actually, a garage that charges you 2 million for overhauling an engine, which would otherwise cost you 1 million shillings, doesn't even need a proper mechanic. They just need these boys that take things out. Now, if they get any serious work that requires a proper mechanic, they hire mechanics from these other garages. They pay him 1 million or 500,000 because they're going to buy the material themselves, and they even still make 1 million shillings off of it. So I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So they can actually hire a proper mechanic to come and do the work if they don't have a proper mechanic, but still make 1 million shillings off of your work. Now, the challenge now comes with finding proper mechanics. That's why convention we know for you to find the proper mechanics abataababbe. Ochitegi, right? You need to come and see the mechanic abataababbe. Nothing comes free. I bought mountings, both engine and gearbox. Now still the car ended up still vibrates in the body. Kata Henry Necho. If you buy a weak mounting, the weak mounting chiraba chibeera chinafu. So engine esigala etula ku body. Mounting yobo gitaddemu. Naye erebe ekola ki eba tejiwa tesola kuwanira engine eyo mu bang because obotaddemu mounting eri weak. But also sometimes Henry omuliro go guli gucha murevu wano guli meka. For example, ene moroko ogiraba mounting yayo nafu. But the only time you feel get a chocolate body is when you're starting. Bobera idling terim. Mounting in full. Now you literally cannot feel the engine in the body when you're idling. Katebi said if you feel your engine in the body when you're idling, chinzo kubango omuliro mutono, which would come as a result of maybe 1, faulty plugs, 2, coils, 3, dirty air cleaner, or 4, the throttle needs to be cleaned out, or 5, you need to actually increase the amount of revolutions that you get per minute out of your engine. But bongeza wali kumuliro. I've seen your wish UBM 040. Semigadde musirikeeko. Musirikeeko bannange semigadde. Semigadde. Sirikako ononda bisa. Kamalo kajjaoneka comment ko. Waliwo abatakalabye. Bannange bulabe moroka yange gireke wefula atagirabye. Make yourself like you have not seen it. When the nabagambye damvuga wish UBM. Asa, I have never thought of it from the perspective established garages are like that. But that's how they are. Because they are charging you a premium for a service that can be done for a fraction of the money. Ochitegeera kati. But that's how they are. I know a mechanic agenda nakanika. I know a mechanic agenda nakanika the diesel cars. Nenga jagenze mu garage jagenze. This is some of those premium garages. Nga chibaremye ye nagenda nabikanika because he's a diesel expert. Nekasire yenyine mwamulabanga. Aina lwagenda n'akola ki, and he shows himself ng'ali mu bifo bye eby'amaanyi ng'ali mu kusiba engine. Bali abaayo ebeebalemye okitegeera, they have failed to work on it, so they called the expert, and the expert doesn't work in their garage. I know someone that went and got a Pajero, Mitsubishi Pajero, from one of those big garages. Nga guy abada spends a million nga mukaaga. Ninge moroke ganyo okuterera. So this guy went and got, okay, almost fixed the car from that garage. Nebali ne banyiga. So najivuga najijjayo, he took it to the garage that very day. The car got better. Omusajja najivuga najijjayo n'agenda. So it happens. It revs at 1,000 when starting. 1,000 should be good. But have you ever cleaned your throttle? Ate mwe bagayi, waliwo ebintu mujje ku convention, nyina ebintu emuze byengendo beyigiririza nga mwino byekolera DIY waka. Like cleaning your throttle. Yeah? Cleaning your throttle, checking whether your plugs are okay, checking whether your coils are okay, changing your, some of you guys don't even know how to change your air cleaner. It's a shame. After I came into the Wish family, hey, totseka Henry, kanjize nayo. Kanjizeyo. Njizayo lero nchanja kuba mu motoka ndala. WAMV Tech, good morning. Incense Rubega, hi. How about a RAV4 Jogira coach? RAV4 you guys buy, but the old model of the RAV4 consumes a lot of fuel. Arthur, I'm wondering now what car you're going to be buying. If you have said you're upgrading to fuel efficient cars, most of them are expensive now. I'm going to figure it out. Hey, people, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So now I'm making lemonade. So, but you guys, I'll tell you what car I buy if I buy it today. If I don't buy it today, I'm going to be stuck in a Wish event tomorrow. Or else if the Wish owner wants it, I'll have to take it back and probably get a Mark X. Oh, or Rumbera Mark X or Runywa. So, but I know that there's a possibility I may not get a car today. Kankulingizeko jinja kaloli rigani oningiza bo maze nokola olugambo comment njijjeyo intention banange bondabanga mu moroka busirika kampereza ka WhatsApp ngai atankulabye naye wano toteeka wo so kumbe rigani ofulumye ondabe labalaba naye bananga abana ba boda basiru. But munange, I saw in so many African countries they have border borders and all border borders behave the same way. We just have to educate our children, to be educating and not just going to school. Omwana atukenga asobla n'okutetenkanya oba atukenga ndabe kibine yimiridde mu kabanda k'abano. So guys, we are still talking about whether for you to gauge if your car is draining. You first, note down all the expenses you're putting in your car. Then, we're not noting it down. For example, there are people that are spending on bushings every 3 months. They don't know that they should not be spending on bushings every 3 months. I spend 8 months. I think avuga makubo mabi. 8 months. Katugo ovuga mu kibuga. You should be driving your car for like a year or a year and a half. Nga tokute wansa otokyusiza bush, tokyusiza bukono, tokyusiza mountains. Okujjako nga you just hit the humps. But if you don't just hit the humps, you should be spending about a year and a half. Nga tokyusiza mountains, tokyusiza bushings, a year and a half if you're using the right mechanic. Of course, you'll find yourself wogenda mu kyalo bw'okoma w'okyusa because mu kyalo ebiseera muvuga bubi muba mudduka. But if you don't drive like that, nga togenda na mu kyalo ng'ovuga wano mu kibuga, a year is the minimum you should spend without changing those bushings. It does not matter what car you drive, it should be a year. Kati if you're driving a car ng'obeera ntindo okolera mu kibuga, obeera namugongo okolera mu kibuga nga tovuga ttaka, and you're spending on bushings every 5 months, change a mechanic. That's for me, that's one thing I figured out. Ate njagala mubale nnyo obudde bwe mmala mu garage. Okitegeera nti mu garage yogenda buli lwogenda mu garage ojja malayo ekitono essaawa emu. Yesterday I was talking to Chris, and I think because his car is a little bit low, yayuzizza oluseke lwa brake fluid. So what we did, emotoka ne tugiraawa. So that wheel ne tugijjako. Kat that wheel tesiba. Ye mabega. So tulina nnoonya oluseke. What point was I trying to drive home? Nkogera what we did, I've forgotten. So what the reason why twagiraaye, in the place where we were working on the car from, spare oluseke teyabaddewo. And the mechanic was saying, ayagala bajjeyo oluseke balwoche ne gas. Now that is one way to go about it. But I thought that's not a sustainable thing. So I called another mechanic and I asked him if he could get us the spare of that pipe. So I told this mechanic wetwabadde girawe. So he can drive even for a month. But now agirawa today agende woyo mechanic gwe namugambye oluseke balukyuse luteekemu. Sustainable. Kati wetwabadde mu garage awo twamazeewo eddakiika nga 3-4 nga tunagenda mu gym. Okitegeera kati imagine oluseke olwo balwokyeza ne gas ne ludamu ne lutonya, because eventually lujja kutonya, because brake fluid I don't know what chemicals are in brake fluid, but brake fluid is very chemically powerful. So he's going to do what I told him to do, and he will go batekemu oluseke olulala nga lutambula nga teruliko muliro wadde, and that is more sustainable. But even then bwanagenda mu garage agenda mala ekitenenyo 4 hours ziyina n'okuba njogedde entono, because balina okusumula bajjeyo oluseke. Bwe bajjayo oluseke bagende balunoonya olulwenkana, bwe bamala bajje baluteekeyo, bwe bamala oluteekayo bableedinge okugyamu empewo. And he's really lucky nti oluseke olwo olulaba, oluseke olwo yawulira emmotoka nga tesiba ng'agenda mu kyalo, n'agivuga mpola mpola n'ava mu kyalo n'akomawo. The way that thing was spilling brake fluid, oh, he's lucky. Brake fluid is corrosive. Kyekigambo corrosive kitegeeza ki mu Luganda kazooba? Corrosive kitegeeza ki? He was talking about spending less time in garage. Some of you guys end up, because you don't want, like, let me talk about that. Because you guys don't want to spend time in the garage, you end up giving your cars to mechanics. That's also dangerous for you, because our mechanic the chance you need to go and see what they are doing. This is Kawala, and this is why sometimes I tell the guys, if I inspect a car for you, I give you a mechanic and I talk to him. It's a little bit expensive in the short run, but in the long run, mechanic atafuna wa kuyiyiza nnyo. Taso ateka mu bintu bikadde because tebiri waawo kutali ku garage. Bwajjamu ekintu agenda kulinnya boda agenda agule spare jam tekemu boliawe uwo. But also it saves. But of course there are things that ideally you should do near a place where they do wheel alignment, like bobo chuso bukono and stuff like that, or bukolera wantu bagenda okolera wheel alignment. Bwe muroko givuga ngo giza ku wheel alignment. Okitegeera. Arthur, old model RAV4, don't buy. Umwana wa boda chiyankoze yesterday. Embwezo, he spoiled my bumper wabula tozinyongera. Olaba nawe otandise okuvuma. Baboda babi nnyo, baboda bali oba chichi. Over lack of exposure. Simanyi na kumanya abana baboda. Ate no, Julia Sengoba, you'll be surprised. Sometimes it's not about them scratching my car or anything, because they scratch my car and I just move on. I no longer argue with boda men, because mujja kuddawo malewe sawa nga ate waligenze nokola sente ezikola byayo nonye. For me, sometimes I'm worried about their lives. Owa boda asobola okuyita mu maaso g'emmotoka n'otya. Kati eri jinja kalote mulabye omwana wa boda asaze makati gange ne makati ga lole. You get, sometimes they drive no gambo bachichi. Kati afachi. And most of these boda guys mbalaba ewabwe they are the breadwinners. Bebalabirira families awe, even extended families. Ne munange bwatula ku picho bapichiri mu omuzimu nga abyerabira ebyo byonna ngata nokusala maso gazi trailer and stuff like that. Rich Isa, I've not seen your question. You have just passed by a location near my home. and Kawempe Lugoba. Good morning. Good morning, Wise Paul. Oh. Like acid, it reacts and eats up materials. Exactly. So bwoteka emotoka eyo akaseka okubako cyane n'omuliro. Obviously breakthrough ajja kugira akyoche kiveyo. Thank you, Lawrence. Rama Charity Organization, hi. Basically, is high. Arthur, the ABS light of a newer old model goes on and off. Advise. It could be the ABS sensors in Maguruwali, but it could actually as well be warning you of the ABS control impending disaster. You got to engage the old model. ABS if I did hold away. Never known. I never would have said. Oliver began. We know there's a job that is really hard. Eh? The job of trying to market something. They were checked and there is no problem. The sensors have no problem. Even the ABS control has no problem. Amina Henry Modern, just yesterday you did your second service. Amina. You can know now otambula ata omuchara yagala C200 na ye tetukoleko emikolo, but we are coming for inspection either way. Chairman Zak C200 tujigule. Tujja just gule eri mu mbeera nnungi. The Benz is one of the things that scares me about the Benz is the fuel consumption. Ebirala byonna byonna nali badde mbisobola because ebintu ebimu osobola obikanika n'obivaako naye aga amafuta ekyokuba nti emmotoka esobola okunywa amafuta n'ekutama. Optimize the RAV4 old model gireke. Why does my RAV4 old model consume like a kawundo? That's how it's supposed to be consuming. Mwagayi buli jomba gamba nti RAV4 old model enywanga mulowooza nimba. RAV4 old model consumes a lot of fuel. That's why I discourage you guys from buying it. It consumes. I tell you, it's not comfortable. It's a 2 liter, but it consumes like a 2.4 liter because of the technology. It will give you between 5 to 8 kilometers per liter. That's its consumption. Even a Kaundo will give you the same. Sense amoji ulide. Oigari aiseo. Echo chikaundo chidaba. Chikwa 8 kilometers per liter, which is for people that are living in town. 8 kilometers per liter is good. It's very good. I didn't know a car can be castrated. Yes, it can. But okula wakwe moroka kwe kuji. Bwebaje moroka ku ABS. Baba jiraye. Kati for us that have driven old cars, we know what it takes to. Sometimes the brakes will get worn out. When that happens, obo inakura wapaka botuke walikana josoro kuraka silinda akarungu. Hi guys, how are you? 1 hour is over. Mbasibula no. Mbasibula. We had a Benz in our parking. Na ye, it was sold 7 million UBB. The way it was consuming fuel. The Benz njiti yako mafuta chechoka. All the Benz people are telling you it's normal. No car should consume like that. Katulabe no wimba denjitya already limo quarter kati. Kirigiza mafuta gange natademo gurogade gachali muzijja simbadde ntya buti. Namanyira moroka nga geje eri waggulu. We had okay, Kambasibule. Guys, thank you for being part of the broadcast. Always I need you to always reflect on whether your car is draining you or making you happy. Eche kintu kiri very important. Obeere ne moroka nga tekola ki. Take that. This is a main road. It's not a home drive. Look at him. These are our roads in Uganda, and we are proud of them. Our government has made very good roads, wide lanes, multiple lanes. It's working. What's the average fuel consumption of the Ranex Alex 2006? It will give you between 10 to 12 kilometers per liter. Guys, thank you very much for being part of the Broadway, Rara, Godfrey Tambala, Lawrence Omule, Julia Senwa, we were dodging our border to Janon Kurubula. Mbaba, katono wadabo kabini. Hussein Munyantwali, Muchungizi Nkumaze, Chika Wariki, Sechitoleko Norman, Ben Msafiri, Richard Aki, Dental Hub, MD, George Senkubugi, Karim Nabasa, Stuart, Paul Sema VIP, Lucky Mose, Aishuka Blair, John Jones, 140, Rubega Shafik, Morad K Momo VIP, Starch Events, Lucky Mose, Sayed, Stanlas Avaga, Karota Uganda, Richard Luanga, Ronald Muchwa, Optimize, MD Nkumaze, Nima. I once worked with a chick, she was called Nima Bickersteth. Henry Modern Jews, Incense Lubega, Regan Semigade, Rich Isa, Kazoba Lawrence, Bita, Rabi Ho. Organization, Basic Chris. Yeah, what taxi? You graduate from Boda to taxi. Guy T. Take that. Nafe Mokamori, don't take us for granted. I definitely don't take it for granted. What problem comes with delaying to replace shocks in a car? Discomfort. I've never seen anyone being affected by delaying to replace shocks. No. You can take pavement. What car has good engine power like a RAV4 but cheaper in consumption? Wish is a 1.8. So if you find any car that has a 1.8 liter engine, yes, VVTi of course. If you find any car that has a 2 liter, like the ISIS, if you find a RAV4 with the 2 liter, yeah, what problem? Okay, Rich Easter, bana guys in Bamazi. Mwebale kubera broadcast, I don't take for granted. Abali Mokamori, abadaba video, no, later on in the day, later on in the week. Thank you very much for choosing to be part of the broadcast. I don't take for granted. There are days I forget for you guys to look at me. Mundabe konga ambasibura. Yenze original. Ndimu wish. It's definitely longer. The window is longer than what we had in the practice, yeah. But I wish you a very lovely day, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Muntere mwesala. Bademe kunziba. Na ngule motoka. Now I'm the buyer. I am the buyer. So now I need a author of my own for me to make a very good decision. May the good Lord bless you.